What the is a Bitcoin? What's a Bitcoin? And there's like miners and stuff. Can I see it? I can't see it. What the is it? This video is probably the most important video you've ever watched, ever. Probably oversold it a bit there. Okay, Jason Mazza, that's me. Yes, aren't you like an actor and a producer? That you like make films and television shows? Why are you talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Because it's important, guys. That and the fact that I've seen a massive gap in the market. Let's just say this now, that everything I'm about to tell you, it's not financial advice, obviously. Because what I've noticed in the crypto space, in the sort of Bitcoin world, it's sort of a little bit inaccessible. I started my crypto journey about 6 months ago. And since going down the rabbit hole, I love it. What is Bitcoin? Good question, glad you asked. Bitcoin is a store of value. It's like the equivalent of gold. Gold is valuable because we deem it to be valuable. Bitcoin is digital money. Why do you want Bitcoin? I mean, yeah, it's a store of value. Yes, you can buy things with it. There's loads of examples online where you can use your Bitcoin to purchase items. Right now, we are living in a world where money is becoming inflationary. And what I mean by that is, we're going through tough times, which means the government are forced to print money, which means the value of money, our pounds, our dollars, is actually devaluing. If you go back to the 1900s, what you could buy for $1 is far more than what you could buy with $1 now. With Bitcoin, it works the other way around. It's actually becoming more scarce. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. I know what you're thinking, that's a bit selfish because there's billions of people in the world, so what about the rest of us? Let me stop you there. Each Bitcoin can be broken down into tiny little pieces. In fact, 100 million Satoshis is what they call them. Satoshis. Little history on Bitcoin. Bitcoin started on the 3rd of January 2009. It's been launched by a guy called Satoshi. He's a bit of an enigma. He sort of disappeared. He created this thing, released it into the world with a blueprint, with a sort of, here's how to do it, and then vanished from thin air. Like my father. That's not true, Jason. You just tried to make a gag for the camera when you know full well both your parents are still around. To get a Bitcoin, you have to be a miner. Basically, miners work on computer programs. I knew the laptop would come in handy. That's good, it's a prop. They work on computer programs to sort of basically crack the code. It's like they're playing a game to get the Bitcoin. At the start, there was 50 Bitcoins released every 10 minutes. The way that our great hero, Satoshi, set up the system was after every 4 years, that amount that they could get every 10 minutes would be halved. So now, it's only 6.5. And obviously over the next decades and years, that will get smaller and smaller until the total supply is done. And so that creates a scarcity, which means the value of Bitcoin works on the network effect. I heard it from a very smart man called Jeff Booth. Now, pretty much any successful business over the last 10 or 15 years works on the network effect. So for example, if you take a phone, if you're the only phone in the world, is zero value. The more people that have phones, the more valuable that industry is. Bitcoin works in exactly the same way. The more people that use Bitcoin, the more valuable it becomes. Now, I can understand when Bitcoin first got launched, the hesitation, the nervousness, go, well, I won't be the first to jump in because anything could go wrong. It could completely devalue overnight. Fast forward, nearly 11 years on, it is currently trading at a market cap of around 200 billion pounds. What that means is, it's basically not going to go away. With Bitcoin, there's no governing body, no one's in control except the people that use it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Well, how does that work? From the very start of Bitcoin, from 2009, there's like a ledger, a computerized ledger. We can go back to any time in history in Bitcoin and see every single transaction ever made. It's public. It means that we can all see it. So if I've sent you some Bitcoin, there's no denying that. There's no, oh, I can fudge it. No, it's all there in black and white. And so therefore what that creates is actually a level of trust, and we will have the ownership. I've not got to worry about third party. I've not got to worry, is my money going to arrive in time? Have I been sent the correct amount? If my bank turned around tomorrow and said, Jason, you know, you thought you had £50 in your bank account, you've only got 10, how would I prove that I had £50 in there? Pretty tough. With Bitcoin, every single transaction is provable. If you imagine the mobile phone in 2009, right? I think it was the iPhone 3, this little bad boy. If you would have said to someone then, that phone in 10 years is going to be able to FaceTime someone where you can video call them from anywhere in the world, free of charge, you'd have gone, you're dreaming, son, you're dreaming. Think about the growth of technology. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, it's all just basically technology. It's only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And if there's one thing that I'm confident of, is that unfortunately, whether you like it or not, technology is just going to become more and more a part of our lives. And so why not be at the forefront of tech money? I did read about what happened in Venezuela and Lebanon recently in their financial sectors. Now Venezuela, if you held money in Venezuela, everything that was going on with inflation, for all of the COVID craziness, that currency devalued overnight 1.8 million%. So you could be a millionaire in Venezuela and would have been basically wiped out overnight. If you'd have held your money, not in the local currency, but in Bitcoin, even at the time of COVID, stock markets crashing, you would have just lost 30%. And then fast forward 3 months when it completely recovered and actually rose, you'd have been so much better off. What's great about Bitcoin is it offers you a stability, it offers you an opportunity to be in control of your own money, and it offers you an opportunity to be outside of the system. To wrap up, if you're going to invest in Bitcoin, don't go all in. Take a small percentage of anything you invest, and it can be as small as a tenner. Don't feel like, oh, I haven't got loads of money, so that's just impossible for me to get involved in it. Invest a little bit. Think long term. Don't think short term, because you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed. But I do think crypto is the future. I do think Bitcoin is a major part of that, and I think the whole space in general is incredibly exciting. Some of the tech behind what they're trying to do in this space has blown my mind, and for me it feels like the moment right now where if someone said to you 10-15 years ago the best investment you could make would be into Apple and Amazon, you may have been, no, I don't really get it, like they're going to sell stuff, what's online, what, really, that's not gonna, I don't think that's going to work. People are never going to not want to go to the actual shops to buy stuff and see it. It would have been the best investment you've ever made, and I feel like Bitcoin is basically that. Maybe I'll do some other videos about crypto stuff, like maybe you've got questions. How do I buy it? How do I actually buy a bit of Bitcoin? Like, is it a shop? Where do I go to do it? And then where do I keep it? Like, where does it stay? So maybe I'll answer some of those things for you. Maybe I'll talk about some other cryptocurrencies, because there are some that I'm very, very excited about. What some of the guys are doing in the field are literally probably going to change our lives forever. You've been beautiful, and keep it real like Ian Bill.